my name is Kate and welcome back to Kate Takes On. Today, I'm going to talk about what my favorite subjects were and are. I graduated from high school in June of this year, and now I'm just chilling out, maxing, relaxing, all cool and all shooting some people. And yes, so here we go. I'm homeschooled. I was homeschooled from kindergarten through senior year. When I was in kindergarten through about 3rd grade, I think, I went to this co-op, which if you don't know, a bunch of homeschoolers go to one location and they have a classroom all together where they learn 1 or 2 subjects or however many they provide. We called it Tuesday, Thursday school because it met on Tuesdays and Thursdays. They taught science and Spanish. In kindergarten, I loved Spanish. I thought it was the best thing ever, and I hated science. So I hated science. That's basically all I have to say about that. My teacher one time got on to me for talking into a cone like this, like while we were trying to watch Bill Nye, and she got mad at me and took the cone away, and I got really mad and hated science ever since. 1st grade, I was still in the same school with a different teacher. They split it up by grade like they normally do in
normal people's school.
1st grade, loved Spanish. Up until you got to 5th grade, this school in particular did a Spanish play at the end of every semester where you would take the Spanish that you learned and you would recite or you memorize and recite a play. You perform, I guess. And I loved acting at the time. That's what got me into acting, I'm guessing. But I loved it. I got the lead role in my 3rd grade Spanish play, which was completely in Spanish. Pretty impressive if I do say so myself. But yes, I loved Spanish again and again.
Hated science.
I don't know what it was about science. I just found it so difficult to focus, and having it for like 3 hours a day was just like, please. I hate science at this point. So this cycle of loving Spanish because of the Spanish plays that I got to perform in and hating science because I had to be in science all the time and I never knew the answers to any of the questions, that went on from kindergarten all the way through, I want to say 4th grade. 3rd grade, finished the year hating science. We did astronomy. Is that stars? Astrology? No, that's a different thing. Astronomy. We did astronomy and I hated it. I thought I would love it because I love stars and space and stuff. No, I hated it. So instead, I got my brand new 3rd grade crush named Logan. Logan, if you're watching, hit me up. Just kidding. So I had a crush on him, and one time we got partnered up and I realized that he was actually paying attention and I wasn't, so we ended up failing our project because of me. So 4th grade, I don't remember what I was doing. This might have been 3rd, 2nd? I was pretty young. I was about probably 8 years old or something like that when I started playing violin. Now, I loved violin. It was so much fun. My best friend, Autumn. Was there something in my hair? I hate editing videos because of me. I just get so easily distracted. She plays the cello, and so at her charter school, which is actually the same charter school that funded my co-op that I was going to, her charter school provided orchestra lessons. So I had to pay for the year, but it wasn't a lot. And so I got to be in orchestra with my best friend. We got to sit next to each other. It was the best thing ever, and I loved it. So that was 10 out of 10. I felt like I was very good at it. My teacher thought I was very good at it. And so I actually decided to continue playing violin after that, and I still play violin today. That was my favorite subject. I hated math. I hated science. I hated history. I hated pretty much everything except for like art and music, singing. I loved English after a while. I don't even remember middle school, to be honest. Middle school is like, phew, gone. I don't know where those memories went. They're just gone. Oh, okay. So around middle school, I ended up going to a 2nd co-op. This one was bigger class size than the other one, and they met at a church. So we would have a big group meeting at the beginning, and then we would split up into our classes, and you could pick which classes you wanted. So there was more than just science and Spanish. At the other one, everyone had to do science, everyone had to do Spanish. But at this one, you could pick any subjects you liked. I remember I did botany the 1st year. I loved that because I got to grow plants, and they showed us how to make this like light box thing. It was like covered in aluminum foil, and you put a light bulb in it and it would grow plants inside a box, and I put it in my basement. I loved it. It was so fun. I got to keep track of like my growing seeds and my sprouts, and I got to like get beans. They died after a while, so I never got to eat them, but it was very fun. Wow, this brings me back. I have not thought about this period of my life in years. I had a crush on this boy, and I was just so excited to come to school just so I could talk to him. And this one girl, she was super nice. She would play DSI with me, so I had a lot of fun at this co-op. And I loved home economics. I had a home ec class, and it basically got taken over with sewing because nobody knew how to sew, which was weird to me because I've always been sewing my whole life. I knew how to sew. So it literally took us 8 weeks to get through one sewing project. I eventually was like,
Mrs. Hammond, can I just go home and finish this at home?
She's like, sure, we don't have enough sewing machines for everybody to work on it, so just go home and work on it. I went home, and in one day my mom and I finished it. One afternoon we made an apron. Cool. How hard is that? Not very hard. So that ended up taking the whole semester up to where we only got through that and baking, and that was the only subjects we actually touched on, which kind of sucked, but I loved it anyway because I like sewing. Art class was fun. One of them I loved, one of them I did not love, but it was fun and I loved it. Middle school, like I said, kind of a blur. I don't remember most of it. I still hated science. I still hated math. Hated math. I hated history. Although in middle school, history was really fun because we were doing something called Story of the World, I think, was our curriculum. And my mom had us do like coloring pages and craft projects for it, and I love crafts and coloring. So that made it really fun, and I actually did like it a couple years. So Story of the World, highly recommend. I never liked American history because it's just the same thing over and over again, and like everyone talks about the Pilgrims and then ends it. I love Hamilton, but I just don't like Pilgrims, and it's just boring to me. I learned it so many times. But I did love like world history. That was kind of fun for me. Anywho, I'm getting off topic. I'm just gonna get into high school because like I said, I literally cannot remember most of my life. Well, okay, 8th grade, leading up to high school, my heart just dropped because 8th grade just, I chopped my hair off. Very good. It looked cute. I thought it was cute, but like, I thought I was the coolest, and I just wore this like sweatshirt all the time. And I was like, I was trying to put my shirt over my head like it was a hood, but then I choked myself. I went to this youth group. I met this guy named Dakota. Wow, I'm so sorry I forgot your name. Dakota. He was wearing an R2-D2 jacket, and I was like, dude, nice jacket. And he goes, zips it up to the hood, and the hood zips all the way up to the top so you can like see through the hood. It was really nerdy, but I thought it was cool. So he introduced me to my best friend, who was my best friend that moment all the way through senior year. That was fun. So 8th grade, I hated all school. I had 3 subjects because my mom was like, please just do anything. I'm so sorry for making your life so difficult. I did not want to do school, so she literally was like, you just need math and science and English, and if you just get through that. I didn't do it. I cheated. I would flip to the back of the book and look at the answers. That's something you can do in homeschool, but you shouldn't. I sucked as a student. I sucked. I'm so sorry, mommy. That was 8th grade. 9th grade, very similar. During 10th grade, my best friend who I was just telling you about in high school, he was very studious. And I was noticing that, and I was like, he's a very hard worker. And it started to rub off on me. Thank you very much for that, mister. I became a little more studious, but I was like procrastinating the crap out of stuff because all I wanted to do was talk to him on the email because we Gmailed. I just wanted to email him, and I just wanted to like scroll through Instagram and like make cringy YouTube videos about video games. That was 10th grade for me. It was just so much work, and I was realizing that it was gonna start snowballing and piling up if I didn't do it, which freaked me out even more, so I just stopped entirely, which made it worse. But like, my brain was just like, now mode is good. I'll just be smarter next year and do it. Well, that junior year was the greatest year of my life. I loved junior year. It was so fun. I met all my best friends. Well, not all of them. I met some of my closest friends in junior year. I was still going to the same youth group, my best friend and I, and then I met this girl named Shelby, and Hope and Veronica and me. We became the chicks at small group. So we were BFFs, the Cuatros Amigos, and we were having so much fun, and we were learning about Jesus like so much, and we just cared so much about each other, and we just cared so much about God. That was my favorite subject in junior year, Jesus. I had to do 3 algebras in not a very long time. So junior year, I was really struggling because I had not done any work freshman or sophomore year, and it really, really bit me in the butt junior year. Because I knew that junior year was supposed to be the hardest and you were supposed to have the most work. I wasn't even to that point yet because I was still working through the stuff that I hadn't worked through, because instead of retaking freshman and sophomore year, I was like, I can't. I just need to, I'm not going to finish if I don't just move on. So I had to move on with 2 years of knowledge missing. That was my choice. It was tough. I was trying to like understand stuff that I didn't even learn yet. And so eventually I understood most of it, but at that point, grammar was my favorite because I loved learning punctuation. It was kind of like a breath of fresh air. I could just watch the video, do the work, watch the video, do the work. And then with algebra, it was hard. It was really hard. I was doing Algebra 1 junior year, and I was supposed to be doing 2 by that time. I was doing Algebra 1 with Life of Fred, which is like, I don't want to go into too much detail, but basically it's like a curriculum that's supposed to like be user-friendly and like easy to understand, but they didn't teach me enough. I was not able, it just didn't work for me. I was doing a curriculum that I wasn't able to understand, and every single lesson I would get to the test and I would fail it, have to do it again. So I was feeling so bad about myself, and I was like, I can't do it. I've failed, like I'm not gonna graduate, like this sucks. And so by that point, my mom was like, we need to switch to algebras because if you're feeling like you can't finish, it's not gonna work. And so we switched to something called the Great Courses. Well, let me tell you, this class was so, I'm literally gonna cry, what the heck. I literally forgot how stressful this was for me. I switched halfway through the semester or school year. I don't remember, but it was so good. I had to really work at it, but it was 2 or 3 lessons a week that I had to do. And if I did them, it was watch the video, answer the questions that were on the video. It was very straightforward, it's very linear. I learned so much. Suddenly, I liked algebra. I was like, what? I've never liked math in my whole life. After you watch the lesson, there was a printed out, like a shortened transcript. So if you forgot something while you're doing a question, you could go back up and read what you learned. I'm going so way into detail about this, but that was really good. I highly recommend it. I might put a link in the description if you want it because it's so good. By the end of junior year, I had done Algebra 1. I hated science. I hate microbiology. I did not finish the curriculum, and it was getting to the point where I was so stressed out. I was having panic attacks over all of junior year, and I was just so stressed, and my mom was like, dude, I know you didn't finish the whole curriculum, but if you can take the biology final and pass it with a 90 or higher, you can just be done. I did the final. I passed it with 93 or something, and I was like, thank you. Also during junior year, I was doing the worst mistake of my life. No, I'm just kidding. I was doing a college English, so English 121. I started the second semester of junior year. I was doing this at the local community college. It was so much fun. We were just having so many like political debates, which was like not part of the class at all, but we were looking at art, also didn't make sense, but it was fun. And I loved writing at the time, so that was probably my favorite class that was least stressful until the final. This English final, I literally had my first memorable panic attack over this final. I was laying on my floor bawling, and I was praying to Jesus because I was like, I can't do it. What do you want me to write? It was a lot. It wasn't super stressful to be dropped into a classroom at this point because I'd done it during my co-ops, but the work was, I wish he had taught more in class other than politics and looking at pieces of art, but it was very fun and I loved it. So that was the second semester of junior year. The first semester, I know I'm kind of being all over the place right now, but the first semester of junior year, I was actually in another co-op. This co-op taught me nothing. I am so sorry, Miss Peterson, but I literally learned nothing from this class. The only reason I was taking this co-op was so that I could get the community college dual enrollment class for free because they paid for it. I just really didn't feel like it was a good way to spend my time, so I ended up not going back the next semester. Senior year, I just decided I did not want any outside classes. I didn't want any outside co-ops or anything. I just wanted to get back to work because I was like, okay, I've had my fun. it's time to be serious. This is the year where I learned that I could just sit down and do work and like work through it and power through it and actually learn without getting distracted and without complaining, and like you just need to do it. Luckily, the summer between my junior and senior year, I decided to keep working. So I actually did Algebra 2 during the summer. So I was done with Algebra 1 and Algebra 2 by the time I got to senior year, which was crazy and nobody expected that, but I did it. So by the time I got to senior year, my mom was looking at this thing called Sophia.org. My mom was like, I'm gonna sign you and your brother up, since my brother was a freshman in college. And so we were both doing college classes, and I was in senior year, and it was giving me college credits, and it was also giving me high school credits, and a lot of colleges accept that. But I was taking Intro to College Algebra or something like that on there, and it was worth 3 credits, so it was really easy. I just did it. It was literally like 8 weeks long. It was really easy. I passed it, and then I decided to go on to do college algebra. So I did college algebra. And by the time I graduated high school, I had 6 college credits for math and 3 college credits for English. So I had 9 by the time I graduated. And that made me feel so smart. Senior year, I took human anatomy. I was doing art stuff, just kind of by myself. And I did violin again. I got back into violin. I did private lessons that year. I had more classes, I just can't remember. Those were the ones that I loved. I loved algebra by the time I was finished with high school, which was weird because I never expected that. Even while I loved it, I wasn't sure. I was like, are you sure you like algebra? By the way, it gives you a deadline. And I had procrastinated without realizing it. I had pushed it a little bit too far, to the point where I actually ended up having, I think, 6 weeks of work of learning that I had to do in 2 days, including my final. So that was really stressful, but I worked at it. I didn't do anything else for 2 days. For 2 days straight, I ate popcorn chicken. No, I ate Cheez-Its, buffalo chicken, and that is what I lived on for 2 days. I drank a lot of Dutch Bros. I miss you, Dutch Bros. You helped me graduate. Cried a lot. Actually, I didn't cry. I almost did a lot of times, but I held it together and I finished. That was really stressful, but like one of the most invigorating things I've ever done educationally, because I was just like, oh, I felt so smart. And I learned something about myself in senior year. I love anatomy. I love it. I love anatomy. It is so fun. As I was doing anatomy, I have this anatomy coloring book with my anatomy curriculum. I love it. It was so fun. And in fact, today and yesterday, I've been reading anatomy books for fun. And my chiropractor likes me and will talk to me about anatomy because he knows I want to learn it. And so he's teaching me stuff about it while I'm like getting adjusted. He'll be like, here, look at the spine. And he's teaching me about the psoas major and minor right now. That is currently my favorite subject, and I'm having so much fun. I really don't know where this video went, but I'm just gonna end it because I don't want to go for another 10 minutes. I love you guys. Thank you for watching. Yes. And I will see you in the next live. Is this too dark? Is it? Let's see. I've gotten goofier since we last met. Okay. I thought I would love it because I loved school, or I loved science. Why can't I talk? No. Also, I have a vlog coming soon. I did a moving vlog. It's a really good travel vlog. I worked really hard on it, so I hope you guys like it. It'll be coming up soon. I'm just gonna hope and pray that this is in focus. Hi. Hello. Hello.